Alright folks, Elcorex here, and welcome to episode 51 from Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. And today we're going to bring you the Wasp. Yep, it's the little cousin of the Stinger. The 20-ton. Not a bad little mech, and it's one of my favorite, and you're going to find out why. Now, 20 tons running in here with a 696. That means it has 6 jump jets. Gets around pretty good, just like the Stinger did. Carries 10 heat sinks, which really isn't too big of a problem. Now, here's the other problem though. It carries only 48 points of armor. Not very much. Basically, it's a light mech. You know, like 69 is maxed out, I think, on this thing. Which isn't a really big deal. If you, well, when we talk about things later in the variants and stuff, we can address that. Now, weaponry. This thing carries a medium laser in the right arm, an SRM2 in the left leg, 1 ton of ammo in the left torso, and has 6 jump jets in the right and left leg, or right and left torso. Now, what do I like about this mech? Well, it's pure scout. And it can be anti-infantry if you do it in a correct way. But, you know, like we've said before with a lot of these lighter mechs, you're going to use this thing as 100% scout. Get in there, find your enemy, and do the eyes and ears job. Now, you know, with this little guy here being a 696, most likely you're either going to be running 9 much as possible in a straight line, or you're going to jump 6 and do some type of cover. And jumping with this mech is not an issue because you're really not wanting to fight unless you get yourself into a circumstance where you're going to fight a lance of anti-scout mechs, which are usually a mediums or light mechs whose pure job is to go out and kill this little guy. And when he does get hit, it's gonna hurt. Alright. So that's why you're gonna be moving and trying to move as much as possible to get into cover. And like I said, anytime you can put your eyes on the enemy and you're radioing back to your buddies behind you in the lance or another lance, and they're all sitting there raining down the fun from the sky with all those LRMs, that's his job, or her job. If it's a female pilot, doesn't matter if it's a pilot. When you're riding the fire here, can you be riding the fire of those jump jets all the time? Now, what do I like to do with this thing? We've talked about the SRM2 before. If you go back in the archives, what do I like putting in my SRM2s? Wait for it. Wait for it. Infernos. Yes, I love the Infernos. You might as well load this bugger up because there's nothing more fun than later in the game or towards the game, where you get these jocks running around in their mediums and heavies and their assaults, and they're just smashing the fire button, and they're starting to get these mechs hot, and suddenly you pop up and go, hello, have some Inferno rounds, and suddenly they're going up on the heat scale, which you're going, hello, and next thing you know, they're running up on, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting those thresholds where I have to roll for explosion on my ammo. And there's nothing more satisfying than watching an assault mech blow itself to pieces. I dare say it's one of the most fun things to watch. I've said it before. We're at Origins, and I had a guy in his assault mech. First time that anybody decided to shoot at him, but he was running so hot, I hit him with some Infernos, and I cooked off his ammo and blew him to bits. So the only damage he ever took was from an Inferno. Yep. How would you like that, little beans in your coffee? Yeah. So, that's one of the lovely things I love with this thing. You know, and you hit some infantry with an Inferno too. Yeah, they don't. That's the old shake and bake type of deal going on there. Now, the medium laser is not going to do much good against infantry. You're going to just kill one guy. But hey, you know, it's that little thing that you're turning your guy into basically laying down some fire here and there. Yeah, what's not to love? Now, like I've said, with this mech, you're going to try to get into those places where it's like, hey, I see a heavy wood hex there, kind of like next to a hill. I'm going to jump into it. So if I jump 6, you're going to have like 4 or 5, maybe possibly 6 modifiers. And you're trying to make yourself the least appetizing snack pack on the battlefield. They're always going to be looking for, okay, I can need 11s or 12s or 13s to hit this little guy. And that guy over there, I need 7s and 8s. Who are they going to fire at? Think about it. Are they going to take the chance of taking out the little scout that's kind of like the gnat running around on the battlefield, or are they going to go after a heavy that's nice, juicy target? That's what you have to do with these guys. You got to move around as fast as possible. Unless you run into, like I said, a couple mech jocks say, my job is to go out there and exterminate any type of light mech I can get my hands on, at the total expense of ignoring all the mediums and heavies and assaults around me. You're going to get that too. But as you get in most games, most people are going to go for the easiest, juiciest target they can get, do the most damage. And when you're doing damage, you're slowly whittling somebody down, and you eventually get rid of them, and you're going to move on to something else. And being with my own experience, a lot of times you're going to find, like I said, you're going to be looking at targets that are easy to shoot. I just noticed something. There's a W on my mech on the base. Huh. Sometime along the line, somebody put a W on my mech base when we were playing. It's like, that's a Wasp. That's probably what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's probably where that W is there. Interesting. Things you notice. Alright. Variants. Let's just delve into this real quick, since we've been rambling on for 7 minutes. Okay, the Davian replaced the SRM with 2 small lasers and a flamer. Okay, I can get into that one. Alright. I can understand the flamer. That's really good for raising the heat on another mech, burning out infantry, lighting things on fire just because you have your middle name's called Pyro. The small lasers, I might be more inclined just to go with the medium laser and the flamer instead, and put that extra into a little more armor, maybe. Well, that's something to think about. House Karita has a version which increases the Wasp armor, which I can get behind, at the expense of the close range hitting power, so they get rid of the SRM. Lio has dropped all the standard weaponry for one SRM 4-pack. Yeah, I'm not into that one. I've seen that one before, and it doesn't do anything that jumps out at me. Not really happy with that one. And then we got the Wolf Dragoons, which replaces everything. So you're running around with, 6 small lasers. So you basically, with 6 small lasers, okay, the damage output's pretty good, but you got to get within 3 hexes. Yeah. Yeah, that actually could work later game, when you got all the behemoths are smashing, kicking, gouging each other. And then you can dive into an arc where, say, rear arc or side arc, right or left, where you got a lot of armor ripped off something and you're crit hunting. Yeah, that could be a possibility. So there's 2 different versions that you go with. But I'd be more inclined to go with just 4 small lasers and still put another ton back into armor. You know, that might mean the difference between taking a leg off or keeping your leg. You know, think about that one. So I don't know about that. So if there's anything else that you like to do with the Wasp that I didn't cover, which I think I pretty much covered everything, and like in different games and stuff. And I like the standard version quite a bit. Of the variants, I can get behind the one where they got the flamer and the medium laser, because I don't know, that just kind of does the same thing in a way, just shorter range. Okay, I'm more inclined to go with the longer range. Hitting somebody from 9 hexes with the Inferno seems to me a better usage. That way you don't have to get too close if you want to stay out of somebody's firing arc. But other than that, I didn't really talk about heat or anything. This thing can jump 6, and typically if you fire everything you might heat up a little bit, but it's not really an issue. You know, you don't have to worry about it too much at all. I don't think I'm not worried about it. So you can manage it however you want to. And if you fire this medium laser and you run, that's 5. Yeah, it's not an issue with heat at all. So other than that, this is a good mech. I like playing with it. I like using it, you know, kind of the way I described it. If you got other ways you like using it, different types of lances or anything of that nature, throw it down below. Alright, this is Hellcrex, and you guys have fun out there. Talk to you later. Bye.